Hello, it's me. So I sculpted a miniature, a cultist model for my new 40k Tzeentch army. And well, my journey to get here has been a little complicated. I want my 40k army to be centered around cultists and weird greater demons and abstract spawn, and I want to make it from the ground up. Now, I have a very specific vision on what I want my army's cultists to look like. I love long flowing robes and layers, and I really want them to be all female. I basically want to make witches with guns. Aesthetically, I want them to be very witchy and also have guns. Now, probably the part I'm most nervous about getting wrong is the face. So I used a program called Make Human to push and pull around sliders to get a realistic face that I was happy with. I'm sort of going for a face that is both soft and ominous. I then brought that model into a program called Blender to tweak and mess with it to stylize the face and make certain features bigger and sharper. I have painting in mind while I'm doing this step, because if I make the features nice and sharp, they'll catch washes better, and therefore make painting easier and less painful for me when I have to do like 100 of them. Now that I have a head, this is the point where I sculpt the rest of the body, right? Sort of. This is the part where things get a little bit weird. I 3D printed the head about 10 times the size using a borrowed printer from my friend Cam, thanks Cam, and then I designed a body armature also 10 times the size, based on the sort of weird GW heroic scale proportions, which look super odd and off, but they look right in miniature form. Anyway, together head and body form a foundation to sculpt on top of using clay. I'm doing this with the hopes of 3D scanning it and then shrinking it down and making a miniature from that. Now, why go through this weird, impractical process when I could just do everything digitally? Well, when I was doing my toad and demon prints for the Nurgle Diaries, I really enjoyed the tactile feel of working with my hands and using real materials, and I started to develop a real confidence that I didn't have in the digital world. But those sculpts were quite big, and sculpting something quite small to scale seemed really, really daunting to me. So 3D scanning seemed like sort of the best of both worlds, assuming it worked, and the worst case scenario is I'd have a better understanding of what I was trying to make when I moved to digital. Sort of like making a concept sketch first. Technical stuff aside, I really just enjoyed doing it this way too. Okay, with the most important parts of the sculpt finished, I prepped the model by bulking out the form with painter's tape. Really janky, it doesn't really matter. And I cleaned up my edges and I hit the model with a hairdryer. I'm using a wax-based clay, so any stray scrapings should in theory just melt away with the heat, leaving me with a nice, smooth, silky surface for scanning. To scan it, I used a process called photogrammetry, which is basically just throwing a bunch of photos of an object into a really smart program to work out how it occupies 3D space. And it does this by working out where the object is in relation to the background of the photo. The day I decided to do this though, I was fighting with the weather, and every time it rained I had to reset the scene and start again, which for context I took like 350 photos to get the result that I have, but over time I worked out how to get even better results, but I just couldn't lock them in with the weather. So I'm just using what I got, which is good enough, honestly, and I can just replace the face back in digitally. And ta-da! This is the result, and it cleans up pretty quickly. This is where I move entirely digital, and I spent a very long time in the digital world. In fact, several days just pushing and pulling around the model, scraping and sharpening and obsessing over little details. Eventually I got this though. And then, with a few basic shapes, I had a sweet gun as well. I was really nervous about doing the hands because hands are sort of weird, and then I looked at some old GW sculpts and I realized, who cares? They're sort of just like 4 sausages in a row anyway, and the scale is so small, it doesn't really matter that much. And then it was time to print, after a whole bunch of prep work. But main thing is it printed, and it took about 10 hours, and I was pretty stoked. 3D printing is like already witchcraft, and I'm so blown away by the technology. But there's also something really, really satisfying about holding a real life model in your hands that you've stared at the screen for days and days making. And I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy for at least a little while. And then I realized, yeah, I need to put in some more work. We need to fix some more things. But that's okay. And so for a few days, I'd wake up, make coffee, sculpt, tweak, get feedback, gauge reactions, retweak, resculpt, go back to bed, and do the same the next day. And look, this project absolutely 100% kicked my ass. Each iteration got better and better though, but we're at the point where I'm currently printing, like currently as in while I'm doing this voiceover, where I'm printing iteration number 23. And I think this is the one. I'm so confident this is the one. So if it is the one, if it's the final shot, I'll insert a clip right now. Okay. Okay. Alright, one has failed, definitely. But that's okay, you can still recover. See? Look how it came up with support. Yeah. It's okay. It's alright, it's gonna be okay. Yeah. Oh, the one that came up is still good. How? Oh, well, okay. This is like dinosaurs. Digging for fossils. Oh, that's looking good. Oh, okay. Yeah, alright. I'm feeling pretty confident with these. I think it's the one.
You look stressed.
I'm very stressed. Oh. I'm nervous to look at them. Okay. Alright. Okay, from first inspection, yeah, this is good. That looks good. Okay, I think I've fixed all the issues I had with the last one. Hair looks good. The legs look aligned. Oh, okay, let's take off the supports. Okay. Oh, okay, I reckon this is the one. Oh, look at that.
It's very cute.
What? Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a happy boy and his model.
Very happy. Very happy. Okay. Well. Well, I'm gonna just look at these for a bit. Thanks for watching. Bye.